I will probably get downvoted for this, but I don't care. I hate E-Drags. E-Drag spammers won't go away. E-Drags, stop fucking spam them. Electro Dragons. Today we're going to talk about the most hated troop in Clash of Clans history, the Electro Dragon. You rarely see hate about a certain troop, and if someone complains, nobody cares. But this one gets a lot of hate from many players. It even ends up in players being hated for using a lot of Electro Dragons in their army. So today we're going to look at the history of the Electro Dragon and why it's being so hated by many players. The Electro Dragon came out on June 11, 2018, when we also got Town Hall 12. So everyone was excited because after 2.5 years, we finally got a new Town Hall and new troop. The Electro Dragon was unlockable at Town Hall 11, which was for people who just were Town Hall 11, awesome. In the beginning, people didn't really complain, because you needed some skills to know how to place the rage spell and the freeze spell right. People who complain about the Electro Dragons were mostly ignored by the community. The community just didn't care, because you needed skills to pull it off right. This strategy was easier to pull off than other strategies like the hybrid, but it was well balanced. It was not easy to get the 3 stars with the Electro Dragons. But on June 22, 2020, everything changed. Because we got a rework of the lightning spell. This meant that the lightning spell was way more precise, and the lightning spell was also 1 housing space instead of 2, which was a big difference. Of course the damage was reduced, but now you could fit way more lightning spells in your army. This brought a major difference, since now you can take every air defense down at Town Hall 11 and Town Hall 12. This means that the Electro Dragon spam strategy started, where you take all the air defenses down. If you are lucky, you can also take an Archer Queen or an Air Sweeper down with an air defense at the same time. This means that the only defenses that are left and OP are the Eagle and the Inferno towers. Next, you need to place the Electro Dragons in a line. And then the last thing you have to do is wait for your army to get the 3 star. At this point, people really started to complain about the Electro Dragons being too strong and requiring no skill to use. You only really need to know when to activate the hero's equipment, like the Grand Ward and his internal tone. Many people started to figure this strategy out and did the same people were doing. It felt like the Electro Dragon spammers won't go away. You might be wondering, it looks easy, but why are there still so many people failing with the Electro Dragons? It is easy, right? A lot of those players just don't care about the funnel, meaning they place the Electro Dragons wrong, and then the Electro Dragons go around the base. It is so unsatisfying to watch, but the players must have looked for the 2 star, because most of the time they get the 1 star. The funnel can also be ruined because they don't look how the Air Sweeper is faced. They just attack via the Air Sweeper and then they mess up the funnel, because the Air Sweeper is pushing the Electro Dragons back, and then they will eventually go around the core of the base. And if that wasn't enough, how they behave in war is crazy. They fight a lower person in Clan War and still fail, especially at Town of 13 and higher. Once you get to Town of 13, the Electro Dragon starts to become quite useless, since you get the scatter shot, which can do massive damage to your Electro Dragons. So players who also don't want to learn an attack strategy just go for a safe 2 star, which is so annoying, because in war the 3 star matters, not the 2 star. At Town Hall 14 and 15 the Electro Dragon also becomes kind of useless for 3 star strategies. You may wonder, what is Supercell going to do to solve this problem? They gave a small buff in October 2020. They changed that the chain lighting now targets the building with the highest hit points. If multiple buildings are the same distance apart, you can call this a buff. But it has pros and cons. For example, if you want to hit the Eagle as a second hit, it can be good, because it has a lot of hit points. But if you want to hit the air defense, and there's a storage at the same spot, then the Electro Dragon will hit the storage, because it has more hit points. On December 9th, 2021, they also reduced the upgrade time. Before the time reduction, it would take you 10 days to upgrade the Electro Dragon to level 2. But now it takes you only 8 days. This encourages the players to upgrade their Electro Dragons and use them. Then, on February 16th, 2022, they also increased the movement speed from 1.5 tiles to 1.6 tiles. This means that the Electro Dragon is slightly faster. This may sound strange, but you need to know that it's also good for the game. Because Town Hall 11 and Town Hall 12 are now the mid ladder of Clash of Clans. If you have a problem with getting 3 stars from a lot of people that use Electro Dragons, take an anti-Electro Dragon base. This means there is a gap of 2 between buildings. That means that the chain of the Electro Dragon won't do any damage, because it hits one building, and this makes it hard to destroy the air defenses. On the other hand, Electro Dragons are also very important for casual players to keep them in the game. Getting 3 stars with Electro Dragons gives to them what they really need to enjoy the game. 3 star! I did a good job! Let's do another attack. Clash of Clans has a lot of casual players, so Clash of Clans gives casual players troops as well. The casual players just don't care about competition. They just care about having fun, and the Electro Dragon is the perfect troop for them. There are a lot of casual players, but like I said, they play for fun, so you will never see them complain. It is always the players that are more grinding that complain. You rarely hear the casual players complain. If they were to remove the Electro Dragons, there would be the dragons that would take over the role of the Electro Dragons. The Electro Dragon can also be important when you don't have heroes to farm loot, so it definitely needs to stay. Overall, the Electro Dragon is hated by a lot of people because they require not a lot of skill to use. I understand their frustration when they start Clash of Clans and someone takes them down with an Electro Dragon spam strategy. But most of the Electro Dragon players are not the best players in the game. They don't care about funneling, which means they get a 1 star. Most of them are arguably casual players, because they just don't care which army they play with. Because they just like to have fun when they attack. For them, that's using the Electro Dragons. I think if they don't change the Electro Dragon and leave it as it is right now, it's perfectly balanced. Because at Town Hall 13 they start to become less powerful. So people need to learn advanced strategies like the hybrid. The last thing I haven't mentioned is that the Electro Dragon in the clan castle can be just as annoying. But using a potion spell against the Electro Dragon, you could make it not even charge up an actual hit, because it's already at a low attack speed, which can be helpful for your troops. So if you come across the Electro Dragon in the clan castle, use a potion spell to counter it. But I recommend using a potion spell every time. It can counter clan castle troops really good. By the way, let me know your opinion and if there are more reasons why the Electro Dragon is so hated. I also have for you another video where I talk about the most hated district in the clan capital.